Hi, I'm Susan Bodner, Director of Senior Services at Ridgecrest Regional Hospital. We are here today to talk about World Alzheimer's Day, which is September 21st. Regarded as the most common form of dementia, Alzheimer's is a group of disorders that impair functioning and cause problems with memory, thinking, and behavior. According to the Alzheimer's Association 2021 facts and figures, 1 in 3 seniors dies with Alzheimer's or another dementia, and there are currently more than 6 million Americans living with Alzheimer's disease. This disease kills more than breast cancer and prostate cancer combined. There are over 11 million Americans who provide unpaid care for people with Alzheimer's or other related dementias, and these caregivers provide an estimated 15.3 billion hours of care, valued at about $257 billion. Today, we're going to meet with 2 people who are here to talk about the care that they're providing their loved ones. Each of them will bring a unique story to the table, and you will gain some insight into the world of Alzheimer's. So today we have Rose, who is caring for her mom, Vera, and also Carol, who is caring for her husband, Ted. Just want to start off by saying thank you so much to both of you for doing this with us. This means the world. I know you guys have terribly busy schedules, and I really appreciate you taking out the time to do this. So thank you so much. So why don't we start with introductions? As I said, I'm Susan. I'm the Director of Senior Services, and I do have my own personal experiences with Alzheimer's. Had lost several members to the disease, including my mother, and I currently have a cousin who has Lewy bodies dementia. Though I've not been a personal one-on-one caregiver like Carol and Rose, I do know the trials and tribulations that we go through. So Carol, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Carol, and we've lived here for a very long time, and I have been giving care for my husband probably, when I look back, probably maybe a good 3 years. He's really doing pretty good, but I think it works out, and so I just struggle with taking care of him.
Rose, what about you?
Okay, I'm Rose, and I have been taking care of my mother, Vera. She's 95 years old, probably for almost 10 years now. Hardest thing, I think, is the memory. It's been a long journey.
I would imagine 10 years is a very long journey. Yeah. So Rose, how has your mother's diagnosis with Alzheimer's impacted your life as well as her life?
Well, it's basically put my life on hold, and if I go somewhere, because I'm her primary caregiver, I have to make sure there's somebody here now to be with her all the time. Her disease has progressed to where she can't be alone, probably not more than half an hour. I have to make arrangements to have somebody here when I go to the doctor or hair appointments or grocery shopping. My social life isn't what it used to be, but a lot of that this past year and a half is COVID, so I haven't been able to do some stuff that I used to do before. So
Okay.
I basically have to plan things kind of around her schedule.
Okay. And Carol, what about you?
I agree with Rose. I think you do put your life on hold. I, of course, have not been taking care of my husband for as long as Rose has. As I said, it's been about 3 years. He's still able to get around. I can and go and take care of things. I can go grocery shopping. I can get my hair done or whatever. But it still, though, puts my life on hold because we can't go anywhere. We only go somewhere, maybe go away for the weekend, and we're really not able to do that. Ted doesn't do very well with a lot of changes, but at least I do know that we're at the beginning stages, so I can leave him. He doesn't wander or anything. I don't have to have somebody here with him unless I go out of town. If I go out of town, like for a doctor's appointment or just to go shopping out of town, I do have to make arrangements to have somebody come in and bring him lunch and bring him dinner in case I'm not back, because he won't remember to eat. And so it's something that I do have to take care of now, making sure somebody does check on him.
Okay. And tell me, what are some of the hardest things you've had to deal with since his diagnosis?
I think that, well, I'm doing basically everything. He used to pay the bills, I'm paying the bills. YouTube has become my best buddy, my best friend. As if I've got to fix something, I can go to YouTube, and it's so great because I just have to push a button and it comes, and then I can push it again and it will stop, or I can rewind it so I can very carefully pay attention to how to fix things here in the home. I am lucky that I do have a friend that's willing to come over and fix things that I'm unable to. But basically, I've taken over everything that you would normally do. I have to take care of making arrangements for the car, or like oil changes and normal things that you don't think too much about. I need to take care of those now.
Okay. And Rose, what about you?
I think the hardest thing is the fact that she doesn't really know who I am, and her memory loss and stuff. Probably seeing her deteriorate in front of my eyes, because she was always a really independent person. And now, like Carol was saying, I basically have to do everything, make sure she gets her medication, she eats right, clothes, and all that. When she first came to live with me, she would ask every day, when am I going home? Why am I here? Really, really confused. And that went on for almost probably a year. The same question, where's my check, and stuff like that. But once I learned her behavior and stuff, it was a lot easier for me to deal with it. Before, it was confrontational, when I would question her or we would argue. That I learned not to do that, and it made it a lot easier for me.
Well, that's a positive.
And she, her hygiene, she's basically like a toddler. So just going to the restroom with her, make sure she's clean. It's tough. It's been tough, but I'm still here.
Well, what makes a good day for you and your mom?
I think probably when she's not agitated and she takes her meds like she should, eats like she should, and is pretty level and everything. We don't have any confrontation. Lately, it's been pretty good. There are days where she used to be really, really agitated and upset and confused, but I kind of think she's getting used to a pattern now. Although it's taken her several, 10 years, but she's familiar now. So any day like that is a good day, when she's healthy and stuff like that. And
right.
Hasn't fallen or something,
Okay. And Carol, what makes a good day for you and your husband?
I think that just not having any confrontation, getting things off to a good start, that I'm not rushing around trying to get his medication, that the day runs more smoothly than other days. Ted normally watches a lot of television, and so it also is if he'll take his medication and do the things that he wants to do. And I think that works, even though we're really basically, he stays home most of the time.
Okay. How do you care for yourself, Carol?
That has been a real big thing for me, because I don't. I'm really struggling with that. And I think because I've been talking to Rose and with the support group, I'm learning to take time for me. And I think I'm learning too, that's really, really important. Take time that I can get my hair done. I can go to the store and maybe even sit out in the backyard on the patio and just sit and kind of relax than trying to rush around and get things done. I think it's, I also have a 10-hour a week job that I do. And right now it's really helpful because I change scenes. I'm not at home. I can leave Ted home by himself for a short amount of time. And it gets me into a different place. It gets me to communicate with other people. So I see others. And I find that that's really helpful for me at this time. And as I said, that's easy because it's a commitment, but I'm also we'll go and have lunch with friends. And that's been really helpful too, because I get to socialize with them and to find out that I'm okay. I'm happy with that.
That's a positive, because self-care is very, very important. And as we've talked in the support group, studies indicate that caregivers die before the person that they're caring for because they forget to take care of themselves. So you have to make sure that you do that. Now, Rose, your journey is a little bit longer, well, let's say a whole lot longer. How do you care for yourself, Rose?
Well, my main thing is if I get enough sleep, because if I don't get enough sleep, I can't function really well. And so I try to get enough sleep. I try to eat right. I try to get some exercise in. I go to support groups. And when my mom first came, probably like a year or so after, I realized I had to get out and do stuff. I would start doing things like, I went to college, took Spanish. I volunteered. I had somebody come to the house. I'd go to a walking class or something like that. So it's always in the back of my mind, I always have something scheduled for myself. Once I take care of my mom, then I do stuff for myself, Like I said, try to, talk to friends and, do some puzzles. I like puzzles. Get a hobby, so.
Right. Rose, what advice would you give to someone who is just starting out in this journey? Just family member recently diagnosed, what would you tell them?
I would say, first of all, don't hesitate to ask for help if you're struggling. Try to get educated about the disease. Try to go to these support groups because they really, really do help. It took me a while to figure out that I couldn't do it all by myself. So it's the first thing is to try to ask for help. Turn to somebody and say, this is what's going on. What do I do? How do I handle it? Because there is help out there.
Okay. And Carol?
I think letting someone know that there are people out there that are concerned for them and love them and will support them. And to, as Rose said, is to look for those things, to educate yourself. One of the things I think too is to have a good support system. I've had a few people say to me, oh, well, they don't even say they're sorry. It's going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. And I think, okay, what am I supposed to do now that it's going to get worse? Well, how worse? What does that mean? And so I think that you need to look for that information and to check what community resources there are. I know for me, I didn't realize how many community resources that we have. And just to make some phone calls, whether it's to the local hospital or maybe look up senior services to see what kind of resources there are out there and to take advantage of them. I think that that's really, really important. And then I too would recommend that they get involved with others that are experiencing the same thing, to join a support group, to join and to get whatever help that they can. I think it's so important to feel that you're not alone in this, that there are others that are going through the exact same thing. And I know Rose is a lot further in this than I am, and I've appreciated some of the many comments that she's made. I can see what may or may not happen down the road, and I think that that's been really helpful to me, and I've appreciated that.
That's good. Yeah, Rose is very helpful. Very, very helpful. Yeah. Carol, what do you think the community itself can do to help individuals who are dealing with this, whether it's a caregiver or someone themselves with Alzheimer's or another dementia? What can the community do?
Well, I was thinking about that. I think that here in our community, we have a support group. We have things that the hospital is doing, but I'm not sure, and I don't know what the answer is, how you get the word out, whether it's by word of mouth. I know that the hospital has done some things. They've put out advertisements. They've put out, big things of knowledge so that someone can go to these things. One of the things that I was thinking about too is a few years ago, this really helped me. There was a conference. They had it here, one of the hotels, and they had a conference, and I got enough courage to get up, to take myself. I went by myself, and I went to that conference, and I really gained a lot of things. Now, it took me a little bit of time before I really acted on that I got the number and was able to make some calls or find out the information. But I'm not sure how to get the word out, but I think that's most important, is getting the word out that there are things happening in your community. We have things that are happening, and I think that that's what's really important, and getting out the knowledge. I learn more each day of what I should be doing, what kinds of things will help me, what would be a benefit to myself or others. And I think that's real important.
Thanks. That was a great answer. Rose, what about you? What else do you think the community can be doing?
Well, I think Carol hit it, right on the head there. As far as getting information out, I think we should have more resources available. And my personal thing would have been more daycares, adult daycares, physicians that are here in Ridgecrest that are knowledgeable about the disease. Maybe if we had some more people trained to be able to take care of my mom to where she could actually afford it without going into some kind of assisted living.
Okay, very true.
And one thing I forgot to mention about the last question is to have empathy for that person that you're starting to care for. That I didn't have that when I first started taking care of my mom, because I was, bitter and like nobody was helping me, and my siblings weren't helping me, and whiny and all this stuff, Then after I got over that, it took me a while, but I could see, to have some kind of empathy for this person, because they're just in total confusion most of the time.
Yeah, I think that was probably one of the biggest things I learned, that the person that my mother became was no longer my mother. And I had to always remember that. My mother was gone. It was just her body that was left behind with a mind that didn't know, left from right.
And so, I kept remembering what my mom's physician said, that she needs help through this. And so I kind of thought, well, I hope if that happens to me, somebody will help me like this.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's probably one of the hardest things, is just learning to be patient and understanding, and also remembering always to take care of yourself.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, when you're dog tired, it's really hard to do.
Yeah.
Try to have some empathy, because you don't even want to deal with this little problem that she's having. You're just ready to drop, basically, So that's when it comes into having more people help you. And just, the past year and a half has been really hard, because trying to get people to come in the home because of COVID stuff. I'm real leery about it, because I don't know, if they're healthy or what the deal is.
Right.
Yeah.
Very scary, yeah. So Carol and Rose, both of you participate in our monthly Alzheimer's support group. And just so others know, we do that on the first Wednesday of every month. And then we also have a caregiver support group that meets twice a month. How have the support groups helped you? I think you've kind of touched on it, but let me just ask again, how have the support groups helped you? And Carol, you can go ahead.
I think it's been wonderful. I am really grateful for the support group. I've not been participating for that many months, but it has taught me and helped me understand that the things that I'm going through are normal, or the things that my husband does, that they're normal. And on an occasion, excuse me, on an occasion, someone will say, oh, why don't you do this or contact this person? Oh, here's the number. And that's been really, really good for me. I've gotten help. I've gotten support. And the one big thing that I think is, for me, that has been really helpful is I'm not in this alone. I've got somebody there, others that are experiencing the same thing. I think, as Rose said, the empathy that the support group, the members know what I'm going through and really say, it's okay, that I'm okay. And it's good to know that I'm okay, even though I might be floundering, or I'll be honest, I forget to take care of me. But because of coming to the support group, I have learned, oh, that's real important. I need to do that. And so I've been trying to do a few more things and relaxing more, trying to take care of me. So I would say if anybody is experiencing with Alzheimer's in their home, to attend a support group. It's been the best thing I've done.
Thank you. And that's so important. That's one of the things when I speak with people that either call or come in to see me, they're very hesitant about the support group. So thank you for saying that, because it is very true. Rose, how has it helped you? You've helped the support group a lot, Rose. Let me just point that out. But how has it helped you as well?
Well, thank you. Well, the support groups have helped me with educating me about the disease and tips on where I can find out more about it. You know, conferences, classes, stuff like that. And being able to be in a setting where there's people that are going through the same thing that I am and know what I'm talking about. You know, and they've given me tools and stuff on how to react in a certain situation. And I always tell everybody that I meet first time is that I couldn't have done it without the support group, honestly, because this was totally new to me. I had no idea. You know, I retired from a stressful job, and then 6 months later, this came on. So, but I've learned a heck of a lot.
Susan, can I say one more thing to support?
Absolutely, Carol. Yeah.
One of the things too, as I was sitting here thinking, the support group that I've been involved with it's been a safe place that I can go and I can say, oh my gosh, this is so frustrating to me. I can't deal with this. And someone will say, usually Rose will say, oh, it's okay. It's really okay. You're doing great. This is kind of normal. might not like normal, but it's normal. And one of the things that I really appreciated, I had some computer problems. I misunderstood something. I didn't make the last month's meeting. And I so much appreciated that one, I was missed, and you, Susan, checked up on me. And that to me was great, that people care. And if I'm not there, it's kind of like, oh, we got to find out. And I just think it's just a great support group.
It is. Yeah, I enjoy it as well. I get a lot out of it. So before we end for the day, I just want to say thank you again to both of you. And I just want to say to folks out there, you know, we do run a number of ongoing monthly groups regarding Alzheimer's, whether it's knowing the first 10 signs or financial planning, managing behaviors. And then we also have this caregiver support group. And I also wanted to say that we do have our Walk to End Alzheimer's, which is scheduled for Saturday, October 23rd. Right now, it's kind of like a virtual and in-walk person walk. So either way might work for you, whether you want to do it virtually or actually come out and take those steps with us. But if anyone wants to find out any more information about any of this stuff, you can feel free to give me a call at 760-371-5885. 614bae0d0abd8c0068c5625. And again, I just want to say thanks so much to Carol and Rose for taking time out of your day. I really appreciate it.